Okay, Dejon Harris was out today. Lamar Dawson out. Martin Coleman still out. And Abe Markowitz was limited, and Kyle Prater was out. Bryce Butler came out during practice. Would anticipate all those guys playing, and hopefully we'll get them back later in the week.
You had said maybe you'd have some news about Armand Armstead today.
Yeah, after meeting with everybody involved, everyone has come to the same conclusion. The best thing is to redshirt him right now, being this late in the season and having missed so much practice time and so much game time, and that's the best thing for his future. So, we'll look to the future for it. He's going to probably graduate, finish his degree this semester, and have him back next year.
Did doctors clear him?
I'm not really going to go into that. That's family business.
Isn't it kind of not just family business? I mean, for you guys to know whether he's capable of playing or not?
No, we
Medically?
know.
Medically,
yeah, we know.
He's been cleared?
We know whether he's not, but whether he is or he isn't. But that's not for you guys to know. If the family wants to tell you, that's their business.
Does he have a chance to go pro if he wants to after this season?
Sure. Yeah. That's a decision they'll have to make as a family. He's definitely a great player, and so I'm sure he'll look at that. He's going to get his degree here and then figure out whether he wants to come back here for another year or whether he wants to go on to the next level.
Do you expect him to be back?
I hope he's back. We lose a lot of guys. It'd be great to have him back, to help our front.
How did you feel the first practice went getting ready for ASU? Are you happy with the tempo and where everything's at?
Well, I think our Tuesdays are a little rough. We're still getting used to the schedule and staff, players, everybody. And so I think Wednesdays are more used to it. I think it's harder for them to get used to it, and force themselves to go to bed on Monday nights because they're not as tired.
Will Armstead be out practicing?
I think at times he will. We're still talking about exactly what we're going to do inside versus outside with him and stuff. And so I think he'll be out here at times.
How did Marcus Martin grade out in his first start?
Yeah, Marcus, as you would expect, did some good things. Made some rookie mistakes, and we just got to keep plugging away in there with him. He's got a lot of potential and did some really good things, and we're excited about him.
How do you feel about the left guard position as a whole going into this week, as far as who you want to play there?
Well, we feel good that Marcus has continued to develop, get another game under his belt, continue to improve. Abe didn't really do much today. Jeremy was backing up at right tackle, so that's about it.
You mentioned Sunday that Devon Chenard was playing really well, just hadn't had the numbers to show for it. How overall has that transition gone for him, and what does he need to do to kind of have that breakthrough?
Yeah, the transition of Devon has gone great. He's played really well. He's been very close to, there's been a couple holding penalties where he was going to have a sack. Another time the guy slipped out of his hands. He's rushing really well and playing really hard. And, really feel great about our rotation right now. Obviously, we'd love for Armand to be in there, but the rotation that we've done, which is basically 3 inside guys and 3 outside guys, and I think nobody played over 43 or 44 plays in the game, which is why we were able to play at such a high level, and that's how we needed to be as we move forward, to have enough depth to be able to continue to do that.
You used the Wildcat, I want to say, 3 times in the game. It worked each time. What about Mark Tyler makes him effective in that formation?
Well, I think in general what the Wildcat does is you get the ball with no distractions. A lot of times there's a motion guy, but he goes right away. And what you do is you're getting that ball back at 7.5 yards. Normally, as you get a run play, you're already moving to line of scrimmage. You're getting the ball about 4 to 5 yards, and the quarterback's handing it to you, so your vision isn't the same. And so it's really kind of the basis of why it's so successful, and it helps guys. And so there's times when, we don't block things perfect, but Mark's able to see it early enough and be able to cut back or bounce the plays as he has done over the last 2 years. I want to say, I think it's been 100% over 2 years in short yardage.
Can you tell Mark says he'd much rather run from the Wildcat? I mean, is it that obvious?
Well, I think so. Like I said, you just get to see, if you think about it in a real common sense way, you get the ball back here and I have the ball and there's nobody in front of me and I can see everything, as opposed to having to use footwork, take a handoff from the quarterback and now see everything, 1 to 2 seconds later. It's really, I think, why people have turned to the pistol too, for the same reason. That's kind of the middle part of it. He's not getting as deep, but he's getting earlier than the normal handoff.
And some guys mentioned that you were having service team guys do a little hitting after the whistle to sort of prepare for that. Is that something you've done in the past?
Yeah, we did that last year in preparation for Hawaii. We just want to make sure that we do a great job with our composure and not get into a personal foul type of game, regardless of what the opponent's doing. And so we're just trying to practice exactly how it happens in games.
Do you feel good about the team's discipline generally, in regard to that type of stuff?
We can definitely improve. Every game there's been something that we've pulled out of the tape to show them. We've had a personal foul on special teams. We've had them on offense, and we had one on defense with Nick early on in, I think, the first game. So we just have to learn from those situations. We have to be composed all the time in all sports. In football, it happens all the time. The second guy a lot of times is the guy who gets caught. We actually should have had another one in the game on Matt Cleo, and we actually lucked out. The guy Matt hit late, hit our guy, and so we ended up being the benefit of a call there. So but we got to learn from those. We got to stay composed when emotions go up. We can't let our decision making go down.
DJ Morgan's fumbled in consecutive games and kind of obviously didn't play very much as a result. What does he have to do to get himself back into the mix of things?
Well, that's tough. You guys have been around here. If you do it, it's almost like the guys in front of you. You got to wait for them to screw up again. It's just unfortunate. Two carries like that. And not real big, huge hits. Put it on the ground, and so he's just got to keep working in practice and do the best he can and wait for his opportunity. Just like Allen did last year.
How do you prepare your O-line for a guy like Montez?
It's tough. We have Anthony Cesaro playing it for us right now, and he's the best guy we have on service. But we don't have anybody like him. They don't make too many 245-pound guys that can run like him. That's why he should definitely leave this year and go to the NFL. I'm sure he'll be taken in the top 10, so he'd be crazy to stay. It's hard, but so we do the best that we can, and he's a physical player. When he wants to turn it on, look out.
Apart from him, how do you guys match up with them defensively compared to some of the teams that you've seen already, and same with your defense against their offense?
Well, we do face a similar scheme, going on 3 weeks, 3 different games now with Minnesota, Syracuse, and Arizona State. Big over, cover 4, aggressive safeties, very little under front teams. So we do have some background in it, but these players are another step. Great speed. I mean, it really is unbelievable to go through the injuries that they've gone through over the last 6 months, and then you watch the film and it still looks like they're the best guys in the country. It's phenomenal. They must have done a great job recruiting depth. I can't imagine losing. They've lost both corners. The safety has a concussion. The best defensive end, maybe in the conference. If you look at the voting for freshman of the year, out. And then what some say maybe the most productive of the linebackers. Their own coordinator said that at one time, out. And they still put on the film, and they're still, getting a bunch of 3 and outs and shutting people down.
Matt was talking about road games and big road games, and he went back to the Ohio State game and said the absolute best thing that happened was that the buses had to go through fraternity row, and they got beer thrown on them and football. Are you going to look for fraternity row on your way into the stadium?
No, you go into these environments, it's about composure. It's about not letting that get your emotions up. You can't get into any of that stuff, whether it's fans, whether it's players, whether it's noise, no matter what it is. And over the years, this has been the best program in the world at doing it. Went down to Auburn when they were #1 in the country, in as wild as pregame atmosphere as you can imagine, and I think 23-0. And so we learned from those lessons. The Orange Bowl when the Iowa fans were out there, and a lot of stuff thrown at our bus that day, breakable stuff, and our guys stayed composed and came out and played well. So this is a good test. This is a great test for us early on.
Arizona State came out with the double pass to start last year's game, and Utah and Syracuse have gone in the bag of tricks the last 2 weeks. As an offensive coach, what goes into the thought process about when to break out those sorts of trick plays?
Well, there's always risk in them, and so it's just, you got to weigh the risk versus reward. And a lot of times you see things on film while you think they'll work, and then you copy from people. Syracuse, I'm sure, copied that from Arizona State because it's basically the same exact play that Syracuse threw for a touchdown that Arizona State threw the first play last year. And so you go back to the year before and watch the film. It's unfortunate because just for our defense, at the beginning of camp, we ran that play just knowing that someone was going to copy it. And Carswell completed it, against our defense, so we didn't learn from it. And unfortunately, it's been torn both times. So we got to learn from those mistakes and know those situations when we're in those fringe areas like that people are going to take shots.
Lenny, excited to see how you guys do this week? Excited about this game?
I am, because it's a really big test. The best team we played, #1. then number two, to do it on the road and in a place that's going to be exciting. I don't think that lost it anything, because I'm sure their whole motivation is, regardless whether they won or lost the game, that had nothing to do with winning the Pac-12 and getting to the championship. So I know they're going to be jacked up, and it's going to be a very tough environment to play in.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.